So, before I get started with this weather update, I just want to wish you all a happy 4th of July. Hopefully, you all enjoyed it. It's very humid, very tropical out, but, so these are just some little, illegal fireworks displays in our area. I didn't really see any official fireworks displays, but it was, it was too humid to be outside. Now, today we actually did wind up seeing some blue sky. It really felt and looked like we were in Florida with this just deep tropical moisture over our area today. Very unusual weather that we are experiencing, and again, I'm kind of frustrated with the lack of urgency people seem to think of it. The fact people need to realize, hey, this is not normal. We're not supposed to see humidity like this. And in a link below, you'll see that this is some of the pictures of the skies today. But in the link below, you'll see a story about increasing humidity due to climate change. Now let's get to the weather. So let's take a look at the current conditions outside right now, and we're going to start with Farmingdale, where it's 82 degrees, and we have a south wind at 18, gusting to 25, but very humid out there, dew point 74, but at least the wind helps a little bit. Islip 81, dew point 75, again that strong south wind, so there is a good sea breeze today. Shirley 81. But look at that dew point, up to 77 degrees. And Gabreski Airport, West Hampton, 81 degrees. Dew point is 74, and then we'll work our way into the city. LaGuardia Airport, obviously warmer, 85 degrees. Dew point 73. They still got that strong south wind. And Kennedy Airport is 81 with a dew point of 77. So we have very high dew points today. Very unusual, but this is all part of climate change. And Central Park is at 83 with a dew point of 74. And we're going to New Jersey now. Belmar, Farmingdale, and Monmouth County, 84 degrees, dew point of 75. And Toms River, 86 degrees, and a dew point of 73 with a south wind at 12. So I want to look at this graphic of the sea surface temperatures, which are very, very high, and really some of the highest sea surface temperatures at this time of the year I have ever seen in our area, and upper 70s and possibly 80 degrees at some locations here. You can see the legend here, and again, very warm water. This is why we have this humidity, because we have very warm water. So we are going to look at now some of these observations, and we have a sea surface temperature of 80 degrees at the buoy 20 nautical miles south of Fire Island. A sea surface temperature of 80 degrees. That is very high. That's tropical, and that is also very concerning because once it reaches 80, you have the potential to start forming tropical storms and hurricanes. So this is very alarming. New York Harbor entrance buoy at 78. The buoy 23 nautical miles south-southwest of Montauk Point is reading a 77 degree sea surface temperature. And even the one 25 miles southeast of Block Island is reading a sea surface temperature of 73. The buoy 15 nautical miles east of Barnegat, New Jersey is reading a sea surface temperature of 79, and the buoy for Great South Bay is reading a sea surface temperature of 83 degrees. That is bathwater temperature here. I've never seen the water temperatures this high. It is very unusual and extremely alarming. So now take a look at this. This is a map of the sea surface anomaly temperature from earthnullschool.net, and you see these bright yellow colors are very, very much above normal areas, and they are literally 10 degrees Celsius above normal almost. So you have huge amounts of just very warm water all across the country right now. And we also have some very warm water also off the Pacific Southwest, which is why we've had some hurricane. You can actually see that hurricane right here. I think it's Hurricane Fabio, I think. We'll look at that on the satellite later. But you could see all this above normal water. I'm going to zoom in a little more here so you can see just how above normal it is. And I think I can display a legend so it can tell us how much above normal the water is. Let's see if I can do that. See, it doesn't really give us a... Yeah, here we go. So that bright yellow is... Actually, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, not 10 degrees Celsius. I'm thinking of Fahrenheit. That bright yellow is about 3.5 degrees Celsius above normal. All right, so that's about 6 or 7 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so it's very much above normal. You can see even the Great Lakes are above normal. There's some below normal over here. But by and large, look at all that above normal water off the East Coast. That cannot be good for the hurricane season. And that's why we got all this humidity. When you have all this warm water in the Atlantic Ocean and you got that high, that Bermuda high setup, you're getting tropical air all the way up the East Coast. And I mean all the way up the East Coast. Very unusual. The only thing that's saving us is that if we go further south, into the Cape Verde area, you'll see the waters are actually a little below normal. So that's why it's been pretty quiet over here. Now, if that can stay that way, that would be good. But even so, if we remain with these kind of above normal temperatures over here, hurricanes can still form in this area. And let me tell you, if a hurricane were to move up the East Coast right now with these water temperatures, it wouldn't weaken in the slightest. We could have a Category 2 or Category 3 here. Right? Thank God we don't have one in the ocean right now. So if you look at the planet overall, you'll see. I'm going to zoom out, and you'll see once again there's just a lot more red than blue, and that is a sign of climate change. We are changing the climate, and I mean, what more proof do you need? You step outside and the dew point's almost 80 degrees, unheard of in our area. So speaking of tropical, let's see what we got going on out there. And actually, we do have a storm in the Atlantic. Beryl has formed with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. And it's not really forecast to, if we go and we click on it, it's not really, they expect some strengthening over the Atlantic, but it's a very small storm, and we're going to look at it on the satellite and also the forecast. But, you know, it bears watching. You also have Tropical Storm Fabio, which is weakening as it's moved away from that really warm water. Is now a tropical storm. It is weakened from a hurricane. We can look at the forecast for Beryl, and you'll see they don't really have it strengthening. They actually do have it strengthening, possibly reaching hurricane strength early Saturday morning before weakening again because of shear. The environment is not that favorable, but it still bears watching, especially if it veers north and goes over these warm waters we have. If we put Beryl over the ocean right now off our coast, it would strengthen. 80-degree water temperatures are enough to sustain a hurricane and even strengthen it. So here's a look at Beryl on the MODIS. You can see it's a tiny storm. It's really small and compact. Very small. Look at how small it is. I mean, it's really tiny. You could almost fit it inside maybe Rhode Island or something like that. It's a very small storm. Very, very small. So that's why it's probably not going to grow too much. You can see again another cloud of dust coming off the Sahara here. And we can look a little more here at the satellite over area. You can just see that deep tropical moisture all the way up the East Coast. And then if it hasn't really been too much thunderstorm activity over our area. We did have some cumulus cloud formation, but that was pretty much it. And you actually could see the sea breeze right here with that, and a lot of cumulus cloud formation with this tropical. Almost looks like Florida where you have that. And you could actually have the sea breeze actually wind up triggering thunderstorms when you have things getting this humid. But larger storms are off to the west, as you can see in this part of the cold front, and then we can get into this air for the weekend. So we actually may have some nice weather. So I guess we'll go to the models next. We will start off with the CONUS view. We're looking at the 18Z GFS run right now. So you can see that high over here and that tropical air, that just same air mass all the way from Florida up the East Coast to Maine. Absolutely very unusual. And this is because the jet stream is just wavier than it's supposed to be. It's weaker and more diffuse than it's supposed to be, and that again is due to climate change. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at this run. So let's go ahead and put it into motion here. We will go into tomorrow here. That cold front approaches. Could be some strong thunderstorms anywhere from late morning into the mid-afternoon. With these, we're going to actually look at some of the models to see how it handles that. And then that front comes through, and we get into some nice air. Oh, look, see, look, something formed over the water there. See what I mean? That's because of the warm water. I wonder what that's about, or if it's going to dissipate. I don't know, but something looks like something's going to try to form there. So that high is going to build in, give us a nice weekend. We'll have to watch that. Because I wouldn't be surprised if something forms, how warm it is. So Saturday should be nice. Sunday should be nice as well. It starts to move offshore on Sunday, and I guess that's when the humidity would come back. And you can see there's just a bit of a weakness there. Probably won't be anything, hopefully. Then we go in the next week, and it starts getting warm and more humid again. And, yep, the ridge from hell comes back. So it's only a brief respite before the ridge from hell winds up coming back. And maybe toward later in the month, maybe we get some relief again. But for the most part, it's been a very abnormally humid month, very persistent heat. Pretty much the same kind of weather that Florida is having. We are having. So we're going to actually go ahead and look at temperature anomalies. So that'll tell us where the cool air is and, you know, the kind of air mass we're in just by looking at the anomalies. So we go into tomorrow. You see that's the front. It brings the blue as the cooler air. And we have a near average day, I guess, on Saturday. And Sunday, it starts warming up a little bit, but still probably close to average, I would think. And then as we go into next week, it starts warming up. So let's see what happens here. So it doesn't get too hot next week. It's a little bit above normal. It won't really get worse, I think, until the weekend. Yeah, and then it starts building in by Friday. Next Friday, that ridge starts building in again. Maybe it won't be as bad as we've been dealing with, and I hope it is not. And then it looks like you could see that next bit of cool air coming down for later in the month, so hopefully we can get into that as well. I also want to look at the dew points. Again, the dew points really tell the story as to where the air masses are. You can see this tropical air literally up the whole east coast, but you can see here comes relief. Here's that dry air with lower dew points coming in and bringing us relief. You can see that sharp difference between the humid air and then the drier air behind that front. So when that front comes through, you see the dew points will come down significantly across our area into the 40s for most areas. It'll be a lot more comfortable. Same thing for Sunday. We should have pretty dry air. And we go into Monday, still not too bad. Let's see what happens as we go into later in the week. Yeah, and then it starts coming back. The humidity, as that ridge starts building back, so does the humidity. But maybe it won't be as extreme. I don't know. It looks like by the weekend, it looks like it's putting some of that extreme. Look at that. This dark right here, this dew point's close to 80 degrees. So you could come back, and then another front comes through. So hopefully we can get some relief again. But right now, we will get relief, and hopefully it won't get as bad. Again, hopefully this will be. I could definitely do without this happening, this pattern again for the rest of the summer. I could definitely do without it. All right, so we are going to look now at the cloud forecasts into tomorrow. So you can see that front there coming in and then clearing out it looks like by looks like this month. No, it clears out by it clears out by Saturday afternoon. Starts moving south of the island. And then Sunday, it looks like some more clouds may wind up rolling in according to this model. But hopefully part of Saturday, at least we'll get some clear skies. And then we get to deal with the clouds again. So maybe clear skies again Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell that far in advance what's going to happen. I mean, with the sky, it's kind of a crapshoot. I'll look at the gem, the CMC. My mistake, the CMC, and see what that is. Some of the things. So it looks like it wants to hang the front up a little bit on. It wouldn't surprise me if it gets hung up. Honestly, it wouldn't. But I think by the afternoon on Saturday, it should be clear. But in the morning, may have some clouds around, and then looks like it keeps Sunday clear as well. So that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and look at what the NAM has. We're going to look at the 3-kilometer resolution NAM to show you. Actually, the NAM has the cloud forecast. We can look at that too as well. You see a little bit of an onshore flow developing on the NAM for Saturday, and I'm thinking some of this could be related to that northeast flow. We're going to have a northeast flow, and you know, with those water temperatures as warm as they are, It doesn't look like Tom's River it doesn't look like Tom's River can ever catch a break. We'll see. Let me see the dew points. I want to see where the dew points are, and let's see if that confirms my suspicions about possibly higher dew points over in Tom's River. It's possible. According to the NAM, we may see that. It is possible. So they can't catch a break because when this front comes through, it's going to be a northeasterly flow. So Long Island will be dry air, but with the warm water over here, just that air stretch over this 80-degree water, could wind up being a little muggy in the southern half of New Jersey on Saturday. It would not surprise me in the least because that area just can't catch a break. All right, let's go to that radar. Let's see what we're going to go to that radar and see what tomorrow looks like, what the situation looks like tomorrow. This is just a simulated radar forecast, similar to what you see on the Futurecast that some TV stations have. And you can see it looks like it develops some thunderstorms in the morning. It could be a pretty heavy one right around 12Z, right over Nassau County, but the actual front does not come through until later, probably into the afternoon. So whatever, there will be a lot of activity around tomorrow. I don't think we'll see any severe weather, but some of the storms can definitely be on the strong side. I want to see something for a minute here. Radar and wind. So this actually shows where the front is at. We can take a look at that, and it shows kind of where the front is at. So you can see the front move through. That's one model. Let's see what the other. Let's see what the HRRR does with this front. It doesn't have as high a resolution, but it doesn't really go out far enough. Let's see what the RGM does with this front. So again, you can see it looks like right around that 14Z time, late morning into the early afternoon, depending on where you're at. Those warm water temperatures, I'm telling you, I think that we're not going to see the usual weakening of storms that we normally see when they reach Long Island. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that they're going to hold together. It could be a pretty thundery day across the island. I want to look at one of the model here with this, and that's the HDRPS. This one's a little more high resolution. Again, it looks like right around that late morning, early afternoon. Actually, seems to develop them more over the South Shore, and that could be what could wind up happening because of those warmer ocean temperatures. Look at how strong that line is over the ocean, and that's a testament to those warm water temperatures, and that's what might wind up hanging the front up just a little bit because again we have this ocean that's way too warm for this time of the year and this far north. Now the other and final thing that I want to look at in this video is the risk of how bad the storms are going to be tomorrow. And just north and east of our area is being placed in a marginal risk for possibly some severe thunderstorms. So just have to keep our eye out. It could wind up being pretty stormy tomorrow. I think that they possibly could be underestimating the risk because we've never seen ocean temperatures this warm and humidity this high. And the atmosphere is going to do things that we don't normally see here. All right, it's going to do things that we would normally see in a place like Florida. So just, pay attention to the radar tomorrow if you're going out. Definitely take your umbrella because I think it's definitely going to wind up raining. We could actually use some rain. It's been kind of dry over here. So that will do it for this weather update. And I definitely look forward to some better weather for the weekend. We can finally get back outside again. Take care.